Well, good evening, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Woo! Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it. It is great to spend a beautiful Hollister evening among such wonderful people. And by wonderful people, I mean committed, dedicated Democrats. Thank you so much for being here. This is a wonderful event. Thank you again to the Rebeckys for opening their home to all of us. This is a fantastic venue. We appreciate it. As I was driving over this evening, I was thinking to myself, I have a very special connection with Hollister and San Benito County. And even though I am a city council member in your neighboring city of Gilroy, Hollister and San Benito County holds a very special place in my heart. My father was born here. This is his hometown. And he was born here after my grandparents, both of whom were immigrants, came and settled here after working as migrant farm workers for years through the Central Valley and in Southern California. My grandfather from Managua, Nicaragua, and my grandmother from the state of Chihuahua in Mexico. Woo! There we go. And I was thinking about them tonight, and I was thinking about them last week. I was attending an event over in Salinas, and we were talking about immigration reform. And the assembly member was there, and there were a lot of other people there sharing their stories. And one of the stories that came to my mind was my own father's experience, who told me his very first memory was of him picking apricots in the orchards here in Hollister. Here in Hollister. And I think of that story every time that I take the dais in Gilroy. And I think about how far I've come, but more importantly, I realize just how far he's come. He grew up here in Hollister, was a product of the local public schools, worked in the fields, and he was raised by parents who put a premium on hard work, on education, and on service. And he went to Berkeley on a scholarship, and he is now a partner at an international law firm. And he instilled in me the values of service because he gave me opportunities that he never had. I was able to attend some very wonderful schools because of my father and his work ethic. And I was able to have things that he never had as a child. But he always instilled in me a sense of humility and a sense for service. And that's why after I graduated from Harvard Law School, I came back to the Bay Area. And initially I worked for a very small intellectual property litigation firm, but I did that for about a year, and I said, you know what? This is not where my heart is. I want to be of service. I worked in politics for a little bit. I was a campaign media spokesman for Jerry McNerney up in CD 11. If those of you remember that, in 2006, we kicked out that Republican Richard Palumbo. And that, I was hooked. I was hooked right there. I said, that's it. This is something I want to be involved with, and I want to continue service. And I said, how can I use my law degree and put that to work for greater use than just making one rich company even richer? And I moved down to Gilroy, and I worked in Hollister as a deputy district attorney, as a prosecutor, much like Jimmy Panetta here. And he shared his story about being a bridge, and that's exactly what we did. And to serve this community and to protect this community was so incredibly special for me. And I want to say, too, what was also special was meeting so many great Democrats here in San Benito County. Democrats who, even though I lived in Gilroy, said, you know what? You can be of greater service, Peter. You can do even more. And they encouraged me to run for office in my home city of Gilroy. And a lot of people early on said, Peter, we love you. You're a nice guy. You're a smart guy. You're not going to win. Because there are no Democrats in Gilroy. And they said, Peter, do you think there are Democrats in Gilroy? And I remember one time in particular, I'd just been so fed up with that question. Peter, do you think there are Democrats in Gilroy? I looked right at the guy and said, hell yeah. Hell yeah, there are Democrats in Gilroy. And I know, thank you, you can clap for that, thank you. And I know there are Democrats here in San Benito County. And we have produced some wonderful Democrats, some wonderful activists, people who are involved, people who are committed, people who are making changes. Issues like immigration reform that I spoke about earlier, issues regarding the affordability of schooling for our citizens and for our community members. Students who are attending Gavilan and surrounding schools in Hartnell or other places. Big issues that we are active in and issues we all care about. So before I finish, I just want to say thank you again for everyone for being here. Truly a wonderful event. And I want to ask each and every one of you, are there Democrats in San Benito County? Oh, yeah, there are. Thank you very much.